Hello, everybody. How are you? Apologies for being a little bit late here. I was having a heck of a time getting this piece onto my scroll frame, and it was like, what is going on here? Um, I had one of my Nerd square hoops, and this Ada fabric is so freaking stiff that I could not get it to go in the hoop. So I had to get out the Q snap, and this Q snap is like really honestly too big the way it's set up to work on this thing. But it is what it is, and we're going to go with it because, well, all of my other Q snap pieces are currently put away. So I don't have anything else that I can do with it. Um, and then I noticed that despite me, going through all of the stuff of how I organize my stitching, I didn't have a needle in this one. So I must have grabbed it at some point. There we go. But thankfully, I do have stuff. Let me kind of bring this up a little bit because it seems like it's a little bit too low. You'll have to bear with me a little bit because this is a brand new thing for me to try to do, to stitch live. Um, I've actually never done this before, so I apologize if things look a little weird or if I'm all sorts of clumsy with this. We're going to make sure my pattern is not in the shot because I don't want to have any copyright issues. Anyway, tonight I am going to be working on one of the birth samplers for my cousin's babies. And I am really just getting this started, but you can see, cat here, you can see where I'm at, and I've basically just done the blue there and started a couple of the blue rings really just to finish off that line of thread. And I think tonight, I'm not going to work on counting the elephant just yet. I think I'm going to do that while I'm at my well, I don't know. Well, maybe I'll get it going. I think I can do that. So yeah, I guess I'm going to work on the elephant here. And start getting that going. And I have a fly that is going through this room like gangbusters, and he's going to drive me nuts. So I apologize if you see a fly go through here, but there's one that is very persistent in my house. Oh, but yes, I hope everybody has had a good day. Mine was actually pretty good. I got a lot done at work today, and I had a lovely lunch out in the square by my office. It was a beautiful day in Boston. A little warm, but thankfully where I am, it's not quite as... the sun doesn't always hit quite as badly, so it didn't feel as hot, even though I read that it was like close to 90 degrees, but it did not feel that in Boston today. My commute home was a little weird because I guess BTS, the K-pop band, is playing at Gillette Stadium tonight and tomorrow night. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do about my commute tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll drive or if I'll take the train so I can avoid that. But they were playing at Gillette, which is directly in line between Boston and Providence going down 95. So once I got past that traffic, my commute was fine, but getting down to the exit to go down to Gillette was a little interesting. And for anybody who's been in, well, anyone who's been in New England knows that getting in and out of Gillette is the goofiest thing ever known to man, because it's not, it's like off of a road, but it's not directly off of 95. You actually have to travel on US Route 1 for a bit, and it's a very interestingly laid out, was not planned for the time kind of a thing. So traffic gets a little backed up. But yeah, so I got home, and then I did a journal party tonight with Alex and Alex, and had a good writing session on the theme of finding your own fun, which will be very, very nice, because, I'm going to be actually be doing that this weekend. Let's see where we're starting here. Okay, so come on. Why can't I have it? Oh, am I using a really thick needle and it doesn't want to behave? Yeah, I am. I probably need a different needle, but we'll get this going for now and see if oh no, that one's way too thick. Where the heck did I find this gigantic needle? So yeah, I had a good time with that, because this weekend I will in fact be finding my own fun, as I am going to be going to a hotel for Friday and Saturday night. My husband told me that he felt that I was too burnt out, and that I wasn't functioning well, which he's not wrong. And that I've kind of just hit that wall with our move, and I need some time to just kind of get away, get a breather, so I can kind of look at things objectively again, because I really have not been able to recently. I'm around it a little too much, since I work from home half of the week. And so, yeah. You'll notice I am not a loop start stitcher. I never have been. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. When I was younger, my first couple of projects I worked on, I was a loop start stitcher. But then I discovered Teresa Wentzler. And Teresa Wentzler does a whole ton of blended thread stitching. She did a lot of her stuff before the over dyes that are now so popular really were out on the market. So she would fix colors to her liking by taking a strand each of two colors. And because of that, you really couldn't loop start. And of course, cross stitching, you don't want to use knots either. So I learned to basically railroad over my my stitches to do everything. And that is how, to this day, I start pretty much all my threads. I do occasionally use a pin stitch if I know I'm going to have like a thread that I need to do somewhere. These are not pin stitched. This was just carried over, except for these two. But yeah, I am not a loop starter. To be fair, when I'm stitching on 40 count, I'm not even stitching with two threads like I am tonight. And so, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the weekend. I am very, very, very tired, and I am looking forward to 2 days of, I don't want to say bed rotting, because I'm not going to bed rot, but basically I'm planning between Friday night and Sunday morning. I am basically going to read, do some stitching, watch trash TV, maybe write. I really should know better than to do a thread this long. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let me solve this now because I should not be stitching with a full yard of thread, and I should know better than that. So yeah, I'm just basically going to completely relax and do nothing for a couple of days, and just have time for me. I am planning on doing some meditation work to just kind of recenter myself and just kind of try to just get back to feeling like me, because I don't feel like I have been recently, and it's kind of jarring. I love that here I am stitching for an audience, probably an audience of one. You know, I don't know if anyone's actually watching me, but, and here I am, I keep pulling my needle out. I have really been stitching for 40 years, I promise you. But yeah, I am definitely looking forward to this weekend and just relaxing and fractional stitches on Ada, my favorite. Punk. So that is my plan for the weekend. I'd love to know what yours are. And then on Sunday, on my way home, I'm going to stop by one of our favorite places to get pies and veggies and stuff during the harvest season. It's called the Big Apple. And it's in, I think it is in Franklin, Mass, technically. I don't think it's, or maybe it's Rentham, but it's right on the, it's like right there on the line between Rentham and Franklin. And I'm going to go pick up a couple of pies. My husband's birthday is on Monday, and he requested, for actually, wanting me to go away on his birthday weekend, I'm definitely going to go and get him things that he likes. So that is my plan. Then we'll come home and I'll spoil my husband rotten for a little bit. It's also going to be kind of a weird anniversary for me, because 10 years ago on my husband's birthday, my dad passed away. And he had cancer. It honestly, thank God, it was kind of fast due to the type of cancer he had. He had glioblastoma. But so every year on my husband's birthday, I do try to focus on my husband. And then I always think about my dad more on my dad's birthday, which is in September. But of course, being a big anniversary, it's kind of coming up a little bit more for me. And so there might be a little bit of thinking about that this weekend too. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3. But yeah. So it should be a good weekend. And then the boys are going to finish packing our pod. We have a second pod that we rented to try to get as much stuff out of the house as we possibly can, just to make it easier to move when we finally, find a place. And also just to have this place ready to go as fast as possible. So, you know, a lot of people have asked us, hey, have you found a house yet? And well, no, we aren't even actually really going to look until ours is on the market, because we don't qualify to, we can't put an offer on a place until our house is on the market due to the price of houses in Massachusetts. So everything has to roll together, because pretty much everything in Mass is so much more expensive than it is here in Rhode Island. But the trade-off for that are better school districts, and, you know, where you have good education, things are a little more expensive. So it's going to be a busy few months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have done that. Let's see. The next part of this is 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I, by the way, normally do not cross all of my stitches one at a time. Even when I work with overdyed threads, a lot of times I will run rows, but because I'm doing an outline here, it just makes more sense to do one at a time and just carefully do the outline. And then once I get into the inside of the elephant, I can start running my rows. So this Q-snap is really way too big for this, but we'll make it work. Oh, but yeah, it's going to be I'm looking forward to the weekend. I can't believe it's already August. 1, 2, 3. Ow. My son really only has the rest of this week, next week, and then the week after. And then he's back to school, which is pretty early for here. Normally, there are years he's gone back after Labor Day. There's been a couple of years that he went back like 2 or 3 days before Labor Day, but this year he's really going back early. And they're not getting, if in theory we were staying in staying in Rhode Island, they're not getting out any earlier in June. So I don't know what the deal is, but maybe they had to factor in days because of, I know they have to close the schools for the elections, since the elections are on school grounds. So maybe that's factoring into it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. But I'm not sure. So I got to start getting him 3, 4, 5 back on his sleep schedule, because he has been living it up all summer and like staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning and sleeping until 10. And school starts at 7:45. So he needs to get his butt up. So I think end of next week, we're going to get him rolling on working on getting back to his schedule. I needed this tonight. A little bit of relaxation before bed. Then I go back to Boston tomorrow. And tomorrow evening, I'll be filming a couple of videos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, this is why. I know how to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Quarter stitches on Ada. Get through there. To this day, I don't know how I stitched fly. I don't know how I stitched the entire castle by Teresa Wensler on Ada fabric, and how after doing so, I still have thumbs. I guess it was just because I was young and I didn't know any better. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. That fly is going to drive me absolutely nuts. Oop. Would help if I kept this thing in frame so you guys could see me. The whole point of Stitch with me is so you can see me stitching. You know, I'm not doing the most exciting of projects tonight, but on another night, I will probably try something a little bit more exciting. It's been a while since I've stitched on Ada fabric, and this is the super stiff stuff. So oh. Come on. Oh, where are you? But yeah, I would love to know what other people are working on these days. As I mentioned, I did my whip parade on the 1st of everything that I'll be working on, likely through the end of the year. I'm sure that'll change a little bit once I get to Stitch New England. I'm sure I'll find some new project that I absolutely have to have and that I absolutely have to stitch. But I'm going to try to stick to the stuff I have, because just about every project that I have is huge, and I really do need to put some work in on it. And of course, you know, that's all contingent on when we move. So if we get into a house sooner rather than later and we're there and I can get my office set up, then all bets are out the window of what I wind up working on towards the end of the year. But right now, I am assuming that what I have in my stitching bag is it. 2, 3, 4. Oh, tough Ada. Probably should have washed it first. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just never think to anymore, since I usually work on linen, and on high count linen for that matter. 4, 5. Okay. Get through there. But yes, this weekend's project, I will work on this a little bit more this weekend, and my plan is to continue working on the elephant that I am currently outlining. And I also am going to put in some more work on Fruit of Plenty between hanging out at the hotel and then also during sprints on Sunday, because I will be back in time to do my Sunday sprints. This may be the only time you see this come out during an evening stitch, but we shall see, because if I don't have a good frame for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now I'm at the bottom of that. So the next one is 3 over. Ooh. Hi, Beth. It is 11 o'clock. I am on U.S. Eastern Time. So I'll be stitching here and for about another half hour or so. And then I'll start heading to bed. But I tend to be a night owl, and I tend to I tend to go to bed around midnight anyway, most nights, which I really should go to bed earlier, but I just naturally, that's when I sleep. So my husband goes to bed much earlier than I do because he has to be up at he has to be at work at 7:30, and he's got a hell of a drive. So he tends to go to bed before I do, and that actually works to my favor, because then I have a couple of hours down here at night where it's just nice and kind of quiet, and everyone else is upstairs in bed or at least in their rooms. And my son is probably upstairs playing video games. You asked about sprints. So sprints on Sunday afternoons, what I do is I set a timer, and we literally will it's a 45-minute timer, and literally just stitch for 45 minutes or do whatever else you're doing. They're based off of the Pomodoro method of focusing. Pomodoro traditionally is 25 minutes, but 25 minutes of stitching really doesn't get you too far. And so I do 45 minutes, and then you take a break for 10. And we just sit and we chat, and it's a good time to go grab a drink or whatnot and stretch. And then I set the timer again. We go another 45 minutes, and then take a 10-minute break, and then we do a final 45. So it gives you a nice, hour and 45 minutes of stitching, focused stitching, or if knitting, crochet, reading, whatever you want to do. And it just kind of gives you an incentive to focus, but you also get to hang out and chat during the breaks. And I find it really helpful to kind of push forward on things. And I got the idea from both, there's a large group here on YouTube, on BookTube, and also AuthorTube. And both of them use sprints to stay focused and either read together, and they'll do some reading sprints for a little bit at a time. Authors will often use sprints to try to stay focused and just kind of do some focused writing for a bit and then take a break and rinse, repeat. So I was like, you know what, we could do that for cross stitch and see how it works. And I've found it to be really helpful for me. My live streams tend to be kind of quiet, but but they're fun. So that's what sprinting is. It's not something that seems to be all that common for the cross stitch community and the floss tube community. So I'm hoping that maybe it picks on, that it catches on a little bit. Okay, so I've got 3, and I've got 3, and now I'm going to bounce down 1, 2, 3 and halves. Okay. I should have switched this to linen. Oh, but that's okay. No, do not come off of there. Are you stitching right now, Beth, or are you just hanging out? What you doing tonight? But yeah, I do sprints, Beth, every Sunday from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern, and then they're always on my channel. They do get saved. So there's a couple of people who haven't been able to catch it live, but they still watch it just to keep themselves going. But there's also a bunch of people who are doing sprints at any given hour for reading and whatnot, and they pretty much welcome everybody. So, you know, I am not working on magic right now. This is, I don't think it's on my magic list. It should be on my magic list, but it's not. I'm working on a birth sampler for one of my cousins for one of their kiddos. They picked the sampler, and it's a pretty easy one. So I am getting the elephant outlined, and then this weekend, while I'm enjoying some time alone at a hotel, I'm gonna fill in the elephant, which is really like the bulk of this piece, because then it's just rings. So yeah, I don't actually. Where is my stitch planner? Because I do have my magic list in there. Let me see. I honestly don't even remember what's on my. Yep, no, I knew it was you. I don't even know what's on my magic list this year anymore. It's kind of just been one of those years. Let's see. No, it is not on my list. So this is my Sal list for the year. Magic, I have 5 small, fully finished objects. I've done one of those so far. Finished water garden isn't going to happen. Finished Egyptian sampler is very unlikely to happen. Mostly because those are packed up. Finish Apache wedding blessing, that could happen because I really only have to do outlining on that. And then finish hugs and kisses from Blue Ribbon's design. That also could happen. It's currently boxed up, but I'm more than halfway done on that one. So if we get moved into our house, I could get that pounded out by the end of the year. So I have at least 1, possibly 2 that I could finish. But I don't think I'm going to get 5 small FFOs done this year. I don't know why, but I don't really have a lot of smalls that are ready to go. But yeah, water garden, oh no, not happening. An Egyptian sampler. I'm about, I want to say I'm probably about a quarter of the way done on that one. So I am not going to be able to speed demon through a Teresa Wentzler by the end of the year, especially since it's currently packed. But that's okay. So, but yeah, this is my eyes are tired, but I still want to get some stitching done. So I'm working on the birth sampler and just getting a little bit of Ada stitching because it's easy to see. All right. Oh, you're doing the Phoenix band sampler. Nice. Yeah, I'll be working on Fruits of Plenty, the modern folk embroidery, for a good chunk of this weekend. That's my main plan while I'm at the hotel. Doing absolutely nothing exciting and just being a hangout vegetable, since my husband has told me that I am too stressed out and he needs me to recover so that I will be able to make it through this move. And he's not wrong. I've been a little burned out lately. So definitely looking forward to it. I'm surprised I haven't had a cat jump up here yet. Usually at least one of them is up here. Oh, but Toby's collapsed over on the floor over there. I see. He has decided that he is in living rug status. Oh. Oh, I guess that's that for that piece of floss, because I'm playing floss chicken a little bit here. It also doesn't help that I need to get my nails redone because they're starting to get a little bit too long for me, and I'm kind of tripping up over them. So that might be part of my projects tomorrow after work. Have that ready to go for the weekend. Yeah, honestly, my husband is awesome. I am very, very fortunate to have a true partner, and he knows that I've been kind of struggling with this move to begin with, mostly just with the purging of things, but also I have a real, even though our house is old as the hills and needs a lot of work, I have so many really fond memories in this house, since it kind of is the firsts of everything in our lives. So, but yeah. Your cats will be hurting you to bed. Yeah. If Eric weren't already in bed, then that would totally be happening in my house as well. But Eric is up there, so that means Kylo, who's our main bed cat. Oh, where did I just? There it is. Kylo's our main bed cat, and he always comes down at like 9 o'clock and sits on the couch and just stares at us with a, okay, it's time. It's time to go upstairs and, make with the bed cuddles. So he's up there, which means Kylo's already up there, and probably at this point Eric is likely asleep, and Kylo is probably settled down below, like down by his ankles. And then when I come upstairs, he'll walk up towards my pillow, and just as I go to sleep, he's going to peep at me for attention. And I will give him a few pets, and then I will turn over and I will go to bed. And Kylo will pretty much hang out all night with us. We usually only have one on the bed, but every once in a while, someone else decides that they want to join the party. What time is it where you are, Beth? Get out of here. You, get. Yeah, you. Digging at boxes. You don't get to dig at my boxes. Oop. Help if I cross that. There we go. Do, 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 do. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Okay. It's a little odd stitching like live on YouTube. So this is my first time doing this, Beth, and I decided to experiment with it. It's like, oh, I feel like I have a spotlight on me, because I kind of do. But I wanted to give it a try, and I'll be doing this basically every Wednesday for an hour this month to see how it goes. Oh, Toby's now coming into the room, so I might have a big black cat imminent. He usually, when Eric gets up in the morning, Toby tends to follow him over to the bathroom upstairs, and then Eric will pick him up and deposit him on the bed so that he gets some cuddle time with me in the morning. And usually Toby will hang out the entire time until I wake up, just cuddled next to me. But he won't willingly come up on his own. He's kind of funny that way. Okay, so okay. So you're on Central Time. Yeah, that's my hardest thing when I'm setting up the Zooms for our meetings, and I'm constantly having to make sure that I'm doing the conversions. And I think half the time I still wind up typing Eastern Time. It's like, oops. The problem is I'm so used to my stuff at work where it does all the conversions for me. So to set it manually on our Zoom, it's like, oh, wait, no, I actually have to think about this for a second. And, to make it as easy as possible, I make sure to set everything up in Central Time, because I know otherwise it's just going to be a whole world of confusion. We had someone who tried to sign on for the meeting tonight because it came into my Tutor Rose email that someone was logging into the meeting tonight. Yeah, the Zooms have been fun. Your eyes are crossing? Aw. Well, thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I'm going to be wrapping up here in about like 9 minutes myself anyway. But no, thanks for coming to hang out with me for a little bit. I hope you have a good night. Yeah, this isn't my normal stitching fare, but I definitely am looking forward to our next Zoom. And hopefully next time I'll remember, to post it in time. I said I put it in big red letters on my planner to do it a couple of days beforehand. Oh, I like it when I don't have to do the quarter stitches on Ada. It's so much easier. Thanks, you too, my dear. Hope you have a good weekend. Stay cool, because I know it's hot as the dickens out there. Even we have a heat index warning going on here. I will see you either next week here or next week at the Zoom. So. Do. It's so funny when I take a look at these patterns and I'm like, they look so good. Okay, so I want to go. I do need to figure out my light situation here a little bit more. Oh, that's a little bit better. And yeah, this frame is way too big to be stitching on here. But that's okay. I'm learning. Cat hair. Okay, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. So this is the trunk, and now this is the mouth of the elephant. And I'll be going down towards the leg here in a moment. I think I will stitch basically until I finish this thread. It'll put me a little bit over the hour, but that's okay because, hey, it's my live stream and I can do what I want, right? But I also started late, so we'll put in a full hour. And then, as soon as I get off of the live stream, I am going to go find a fly swatter, and I am getting that fly because it is just dive bombing me here. Well, I think they might be getting in through, because I have a window air conditioner in this room, and it's not perfectly sealed in the window because, you know, those window conditioners with the accordion sides don't always have the best of sealing, and I think one crawled into the window there. Or I did notice that the screen in our kitchen door, it has a loose flap, and I didn't realize that, and I just had the screen open for a couple of, I had like the actual wood door closed or open, I mean, and then the screen door closed, but the screen has a slit in it, so the flies could get in, and I think that might be why we have some in the house, but it's summer. There's always flies. Oh, someone's in my kitchen. I think I have a kid. 1, 2. Whew. I am going to turn my little fan on though here because it's hot. So I apologize for the noise. Let's see. 1, 2. Come on. All right, so I'm kind of glad that I'm getting this over with because getting these fractionals through. I am so out of practice with fractionals. Getting awfully close to the bottom here. I apologize if I'm getting down a little too far. Like I said, this frame is not the right size to be working on screen here, but couldn't be helped, unfortunately, tonight with the Aida fabric because it did not want to go into one of my Nurge frames because it is just too stiff. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then a 2. You'll also notice that I don't really railroad stitches. Sometimes I do, but I don't. A lot of times I'm stitching so slow tonight because I am kind of tired that I'm not twisting my needle as much as I often do when I'm going a little bit faster. I tend to twist my needle more when I'm running rows. So when I'm stitching one stitch at a time like this, I'm not as bad about twisting my needle around. But I don't generally railroad stitches. I kind of am a organic. They're going to lie the way they're going to lie. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I have 2. 2. I think next time I might, if I am going to use this frame, I think I'll set my camera up behind my Lowry, and maybe I can get a better angle and it won't be quite as clumsy here. Come on. Oof. Okay. One, two, three, 4. So this is now the bottom of the elephant's foot. With its front 2 feet. And heaviest thread. What are we doing? Oh, okay. That's what happened. Yeah, we'll redo that one because that got really twisted up. So I am my cousin who, well, 2 of my cousins selected this piece for their babies who were born a little bit apart from each other. They're about 1.5 years from each other, I believe. And the eldest is half Indian. So, of course, elephants are very special there. So it has a little bit more meaning. But then my other cousin really liked it too. And so I'll be doing this one twice. And then my cousin and her husband, who is Indian, had another baby girl last November. And I had a different Ursula Michaels birth sampler that was a, pick option A or option B, and this was the A, the option B wasn't selected the first time around, but just so that each little girl has their own sampler, I will do the other sampler for their second little girl. This is starting to get a little bit annoying with this length of floss, and I don't know why, because it's not that short, but sometimes floss just likes to be cranky. All right, we got another quarter stitch here. And once I finish this length off, that will probably be it for the night, since it is 11:35 at night here. So a few more stitches. But not too bad for an hour. 1, 2, 3. I'm also holding this at kind of a weird angle, so definitely slowing me down a little bit, but that's okay. Like I said, learning curve. I've never done live stitching before, so next time we'll try a different angle and we'll see how well it works. But at least you can see it on screen. Two, three. Yeah, that's about where I'm gonna get this half stitch in, and I think that's where I will finish that thread. And that one is a fractional from here. Come on, get through there. Oh, of course you did. Always happens, right? But hey, you'll see the back of my work. I actually stitch pretty, for the most part, pretty neat. I don't actually work to keep it super neat. It's just kind of how I stitch. I think I was taught early on, to be kind of careful about how I stitch. So my backs tend to be relatively neat. And I don't have an issue showing my backs. I've never understood the people that get offended to see your backs, because the backs of your projects are how people can learn about your technique. And I don't see that as something that you should hide. Okay, so there we go. We'll get that trimmed off, and it looks like I have one over here to trim. What is going on over here? Okay, we'll trim that, and we'll trim this. Okay, so that is where I'm going to, that is where I'm going to end off for tonight, for my hour. So we have, now let me put it up here, you can see it a little bit better. So we have, I went down here and went around the foot of the elephant here, and also shaded in that little spot in there. So yeah, so then I'll just kind of keep continuing to wander around this darker blue outline, and then while I'm at the hotel this weekend, I can fill that in. So that is where I'm going to leave this for tonight. Thank you, Beth, for joining me. And I saw that a couple other people popped in. Didn't say anything, but popped in. And thank you for coming in to check me out. And I will be live on Sunday afternoon, and then I'll be doing this again next Wednesday night. So until then, have a great night, everybody, and I will see you soon. Bye.